This video was brought to you by MannCo.Trade. This site allows you to instantly trade off your unwanted TF2 items in exchange for other TF2 items. By adding MannCo.Trade to your name, you'll also receive a 2% bonus. Check them out in the description below. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to another list video. Now we've had the most expensive unusual hats, right? We've had the most expensive unique hats, but today's date is October the 31st, and I'm sure many of you are aware it's Halloween, okay? So what better way to celebrate Halloween than to count down the most expensive Halloween hats for each class in the game. Now these can either be haunted or holiday restricted, as long as they're a Halloween item that can only be used in like Halloween servers, etc. It's on this list, okay? So we have a mixture of unique quality and haunted quality, and overall there's some really quite expensive cosmetics that I wasn't expecting on this list, which is just crazy to me. So the same rules apply in this list as they do in all the other lists that I'm going to be doing around this kind of like subtopic. So rule number one, only hats, okay? It only goes on the head region of the character. No body miscs, no beards, it has to go on the head. So that's like the most important key feature of this list. However, equally important, it has to be a Halloween cosmetic. I think that's pretty obvious given the theme of the video. It has to be Halloween, either haunted quality or restricted only for Halloween. It can't be worn at any time in the day on any server. It has to be a Halloween one. And that's kind of the two main rules, I guess. There's really not a huge amount more to kind of go into. So I mean, without further ado, we can just get straight into the video. The prices will be displayed in keys and refined. I'll convert them from keys to refined if needed. So, we're going to be going in chronological order of how the classes appear in-game, as we always do in these types of videos. And first off, we're going to be looking at the Scout. So first for the Scout, we have a really awesome cosmetic being the Headhunter. The Headhunter is a hood, it's also team coloured, so it kind of, well, pretty obvious, it changes colour if you're on the blue team to a blue hood. And it turns the face a pale grey with blood dripping from the nose and around the mouth. Kind of a gruesome cosmetic when you think about it. However, this cosmetic is of course a Halloween restricted cosmetic and comes to the price of 2 keys. The Headhunter in refined, however, will set you back 68 refined. So, starting off at a pretty high value of 2 keys for the Scout. It's also paintable, interestingly. It's not hugely noticeable, it just adds a slight tint to the face. So the previously grey kind of pale face will be tinted purple, tinted pink, tinted green, whatever you paint it, that's what the skin on the face turns. So of course, coming up next, we are going in chronological order, we have the Soldier with a pretty expensive hat. So, the Freedom Feathers for the Soldier. The Freedom Feathers is literally the head of an eagle. I think it's like resembling the bald eagle that's like, I think it's also on the Compatriot as like the exact same head, or the Compatriot. It's like the symbolism for America, the kind of bald eagle symbolises freedom, so it's called the Freedom Feathers. It makes sense. But the Freedom Feathers in its unique quality will set you back 2.75 keys, which roughly equates to 94 refined. There's a few bird heads that are actually similar to this. I guess they must have came out around the same time. And there's a few bird heads that are also on the list. I'm going to spoil that now. A few of the kind of similar hats in this kind of like almost series of bird heads makes it into this list. But nonetheless, 2.75 keys for the Freedom Feathers. So coming up third on the list, and also the first haunted quality item that's going to be featured in the list, we have the Haunted Hard-Headed Hardware. That was so hard to say, you have no idea how many takes it took me to say that. But the Hard-Headed Hardware is a pyro cosmetic that replaces the face region. It's a head replacement, but of course it takes over the whole head, which is why it's on this list. And it's this kind of like, I'd just describe it as like a scary metallic face. It's a steel head with this like glowing eye sockets and mouth sockets and a really wide open mouth with spiky teeth. And when you paint this cosmetic, it actually changes the colour of the glow on the inside, which is pretty cool. You can have like glowing pink eyes, glowing green eyes, and like the same for the mouth. It's pretty cool, especially MannCo Orange. You get this really kind of like Halloween vibe from it. It's just a pretty cool cosmetic. However, the Haunted Hard-Headed Hardware will set set you back 1.5 keys, which equates to 51 refined. So a pretty respectable price, one of the lower prices that we have featured on this list, but nonetheless a pretty cool cosmetic. So coming up fourth on the list, we have the Demo Man cosmetic, which is going to be the second bird kind of related cosmetic we actually have of the list, and this is going to be the Man Bird of Aberdeen. The Man Bird of Aberdeen is the head from the Birdman of Aberdeen, however it replaces the whole head on the Demo Man. This cosmetic will set you back roughly about 2.4 keys, which equates to about 81.6 refined. Overall, it's a pretty cool cosmetic. It's another one of those wacky bird heads that you're not really going to put in like a genuine loadout unless you use it with like the Birdman, and I can't think of a third cosmetic that would go with it, but either way though, a pretty cool cosmetic, very, very wacky indeed. So coming up fifth, just past the midway spot on the list, we have the third item that's going to be featured that's an animal head, and I promise there's not too many more of these, but this is going to be the heavy cosmetic. I'm sure everyone saw this coming. This is going to be the Haunted Chicken Kiev. Now the Chicken Kiev itself comes in two forms, both of which are very similar prices. However, the Haunted one just scrapes ahead at 10 keys, which equates to 340 refined. That's a lot. I mean, that really is a lot. It's the most expensive hat on this list, and it's the head of the Red Army Robin, which is another kind of heavy cosmetic that sits on the shoulder. So there's definitely a recurring theme of the heads being decapitated from these mini shoulder buddies and put on the head. Nonetheless, though, the Chicken Kiev is an absolutely iconic hat, often used by Hoovies and Friendlies. It's just a really humorous hat. I mean, it's a massive Robin's head on top of the heavy. What's not to love? So coming up next on the list, we have an item that I promise you isn't a bird cosmetic. This is going to be the Engineer's cosmetic, and I really didn't realise it was that expensive. However, we have the unique Beep Man. Now technically the Beep Man isn't just a head cosmetic. The Beep Man replaces the head of the Engineer with like the top of, or the display of the Beep Boy cosmetic, and the chest of the Engineer is also covered by a massive control pad that you also see on the Beep Boy as well, turning your normal Engineer into a fully fledged Beep Man. This cosmetic is fully paintable, and you can turn the default red control panel and screen into any color you'd like, making this a very versatile cosmetic. It's just such a fun cosmetic. It's like, it takes up the head and the body region, so you have no need to worry about fitting it into a loadout. It's its own loadout in itself with just one cosmetic. This cosmetic costs 6.5 keys, which equates to 221 refined. This means it just scrapes the place of second most expensive cosmetic on this list. So coming up next, guys, we of course have the Medic cosmetic, and we've got yet another bird one. I'm sure most of you saw this coming. I'm sure you've noticed a theme running here. However, the Medic cosmetic we're going to be talking about is the haunted variation of the Medes cosmetic. Now this is like the head of the Archimedes, which is the bird that sits on the Medic's shoulder. However, it's a lot bigger and it's got a pair of glasses. It's a really, really fun cosmetic, definitely a really cool play on the Archimedes cosmetic. And if you want to pick up the haunted variant, it will set you back exactly 6 keys, which equates to roughly 204 refined metal. So it's definitely a really expensive one. A lot of these haunted cosmetics do seem to be very, very inflated. However, it's just a really fun cosmetic, and it even has its own facial animations. So coming up next, we have the Sniper, and I mean, I do feel bad for doing this, but we have another bird cosmetic, and this is going to be the last bird cosmetic. You don't need to worry about another one making an appearance. However, I'm sure a lot of you saw this coming. This is going to be the Haunted Sir Shoots a Lot. Now, the Sir Shoots a Lot is a play on, of course, the Sir Hoots a Lot, which is the owl that sits on the sniper's shoulder. It's a massive owl head that sprouts out of the soldier's neck and just completely takes him over. It's not paintable or anything like that. It's just a big owl head. So that's the last kind of bird cosmetic. There's just so many of them, and the Sir Hoots a Lot in its haunted variant, or the Sir Shoots a Lot I should say, will set you back 4.2 keys. It's very, very close to the unique version of the Sir Shoots a Lot, which will set you back 4.1 keys. The haunted variant will set you back 143 refined, which again is pretty pricey for what is literally just a massive owl head, but nonetheless it's a really, really awesome cosmetic. But thankfully the last bird cosmetic of this video, and let's move on to the final hat of the video. So coming up next, guys, last on the list we have the Spy cosmetic, with by far the cheapest hat in this video. For the Spy, we've got a hat known as the Shadow Man Shade. Now the Shadow Man Shade is only 10 refined, which by far makes it the cheapest hat on the list. But honestly, it's a pretty nice looking cosmetic. It's a team coloured top hat with a skull right in the middle of it, right at the front, and it's also got a feather like poking outside of the band that's tied around the top hat. And it's paintable. The band around the top hat changes colour whatever paint you apply to it. It's just a pretty cool cosmetic, and for just 10 refined, like being the most expensive haunted or like Halloween spy cosmetic, that's really not that bad of a price at all. But guys, that is just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this and general gaming content, then do be sure to subscribe. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and peace.